looked at the film and certainly did some things well enough to win, and really proud of the group, their effort. I'd say the entire last week, not just yesterday, but starting on Monday of last week, and their resolve and understanding, where we were and what we've had to kind of go through to learn how to do some things a little better here, so that we could get a result that we were looking for. So. Again, it's football, far from perfect. A lot of things we can do better, a lot of things we can learn from. Oftentimes it's more fun to learn when you win than it is when you lose, but we're going to learn nonetheless today. So good opportunity for us to try to improve our football team, even though we did get a victory, and see how we can make ourselves and our team better as we go forward. So only thing I have to update on relative to injuries is Denzel is in the protocol, so we'll be working through that this week, obviously.
Josh, after watching the film, what did you learn about the offensive line, and specifically what Alex Bars has been able to bring over on the left side, and then playing two rookies over on the right side, what they were able to, how they've been able to step up to that challenge?
Yeah, Alex has been a consistent contributor to us here the last few weeks, but he's had a great effort, great mindset and attitude the entire time he's been here, and just consistently tries to work at his craft. I think he's given us some dependable play over there. He's been pretty physical. The communication on the left side has been pretty good. We didn't have a lot of blown assignments. There was a couple in the game that we're going to have to fix here, but generally speaking, I think that's been pretty good. The two rookies were in there for some important snaps together yesterday, and Dylan obviously again continues to develop into the type of player we think he can be, now moving from center to guard, and playing basically the entire time yesterday at right guard. So give him a lot of credit for being able to, the duality that he's had to deal with already this season in 4 games is pretty impressive for a young player. And then Thayer stepped in there and again had 2 good rushers yesterday, really 3, 4, however many you want to count out there on the edge. They got good pass rushers. So tried to limit their production. Some of that was with scheme, and some of that obviously was with, the ability to stay inside out and block them well. So I thought they acquitted themselves well and gave us an opportunity there to try to, had 2 big drives in the fourth quarter to get down there and score some points and try to, get the game into a 2-score game twice. So they did their job.
Obviously, I'm not questioning effort, but on Chandler Jones getting in the stat sheet, he's not getting there. But again, effort's there. How concerned are you about that?
He's making a lot of plays that don't show up in the stat, and that's probably going to be, not good enough for everybody to listen to. But making plays in a running game, drew multiple holding penalties yesterday. There's ways to produce, and there's way to impact the game. Beyond just the one column, that everybody's looking for. So I thought he and Max, Cleveland, Malcolm, Bilal, I thought there was a lot of different things going on up front yesterday where we created some negativity offensively for them with some of our effort, the way we were playing. We didn't always make the tackle, or we didn't always get the sack or the TFL, but we created it for somebody else to have it, and so Chandler's an unselfish guy, and he understands what his role is, and nobody would want to, have more of those than Chandler would, but he also is not going to sit here and get frustrated with lack of those production stats. He was in there. Russell felt him some yesterday for sure, and like I said, he drew a few holding calls that were important in the game. So, I think impact is sometimes, if you look at it and measure it just by the one column, you can misjudge it a little bit. I like the way he's playing. I like the effort he's playing with, and I think those will come.
Josh Jacobs had a good day overall yesterday, but it seemed like he had a lot of success running between the tackles. What did you see from the guys on the interior and clearing some pass from the run through there?
Yeah, Denver usually does a pretty good job of setting the edge on the defense. JJ had a couple bounce outs that I think were okay. We're pretty productive, but we knew we were going to have to try to make some hay inside, and I thought he did a really good job of being patient as a runner. We had some really good double teams inside to try to create space for him inside, and those guys were working hard to do that. We can do a few things, I think, to help him out even more inside. We had some space, but I think there's some things we can clean up today. But all in all, I thought we had a hat and a hat, and usually when we get him a full head of steam and an opportunity to hit the line of scrimmage without somebody at his legs, he just inertia takes over, and he makes yards. So, and he's hard to tackle. So again, getting him started, getting him going early in the game, I think was a big focus for us. And, and I thought he carried that through to the end.
Josh, aside from the obvious, the results difference when you're in the red zone and scoring TDs versus field goals, let's take the result out of it. Is there a common theme that you're detecting on the times that you're not able to put it over the goal line?
It's really the red zone comes down to detail and execution. And I think that's really anybody. You can talk about any team, offense or defense. If you execute, it's hard down there. There's less space. There's more bodies. Some teams do more, to try to create confusion or tighten down throwing lanes or get more bodies in the box in a running game. So whatever you're doing down there, it's certainly never going to be easy, and so it requires 11 guys offensively to do the right thing. There is absolutely no shortage of opportunities for us to finish and put the ball in the end zone. And again, I keep saying the same thing. I look at it and it feels like a negative, but to me, it's a positive that we know what we need to do better. And the minute we start doing it better consistently, I feel like the results will change. And so I think that's the message to our football team in that area. There's going to be some other things that we're going to talk about too, where, progress is painful sometimes, You look at it, you identify what the issue is, and then you try to find the solution. Once you find the solution, now we got to work at it and get consistently good at it in practice. And then once we do it in the game, I think, you come out of a game and you're 5 for 5 in the red zone, it's going to feel pretty good. You're going to want to do that again. So, we're this close on a couple things, and such is life in the NFL against a good defense. So we're going to have to do a little better.
You mentioned last week that scoring is down in the NFL. I know sometimes you get tunnel vision on your own team and why that might be for your team, even though you guys are 10th in the league in scoring. Why is there anything, you're an offensive mind, is there anything that defenses are doing a little bit differently this year?
No, I could say yes, but I would say just in general, the big picture. First of all, I don't know why every team, I haven't seen every game. I don't really know across the league why that would be. But, look, you come out of training camp and you're at a certain place. And I've said this, to our team too, is, our job now is we can't say, all right, training camp ended, that's where we're going to be for the whole year. You can't do that anymore. We used to have two-a-days, and we used to have, a multitude of different opportunities to do things that maybe put yourself, in a little bit of a further position as you started the season. Anymore, that you have to take September and October, and you have to continue to refine those things and build and improve and grow your team in different areas. And we just have to look at each opportunity to practice like it's one of those opportunities. And so I don't know if that's, why everything is what it is, but I think that, offenses, generally tend to be a little bit behind in certain cases, and so I think that, hopefully over the course of time, our execution, our ability to finish in the red zone will improve. And we may see that league-wide, I don't know.
What have you seen from Amik Robertson? He'll give up a play here or there, but he just keeps coming back and fighting, and obviously had big plays yesterday.
Yeah, he's kind of the epitome of the phrase, the size of the dog in the fight, and he doesn't really know that he's not 6'4", 220, you know what I mean? But he plays the way – I would love every player, that you coach to play the way that Amik plays, He has a very short memory. And you have to have that as a defensive back. You can't sit there and, fuss about the last play, You got to go make the next one, He is tough as nails. To me, I think he tackles well. I thought he made some big hits yesterday. They tried a few of those receiver screens, and he came up there and really set the edge on the defense there and didn't let the ball get up the field. And he plays hard on every play, so – he earns everything he gets out there, man, because he plays so hard with such great effort. So, just really a pleasure to coach a guy who brings it every day, wants to get better, does it in every area of the building, weight room, training room, takes care of himself, comes in with the right mindset, and he just, just plays his butt off. So proud of him and excited that he had a good day yesterday. And again, he had a good day and gave up a player here or there, but again, that's not something that's going to really phase Amik, you know what I mean? He's learned how to deal with that at corner and comes back and really plays hard the next snap.
Example of players investing in themselves, but also staffs investing in players, even though the payoff might not be immediate.
Yeah, I think you have to keep – every player has value, and we all know that. We've told them that a lot. And, it's just our job is to try to help them grow and reach their potential as a player. And, their job is the same, to do all the things that they can do to help themselves reach their potential. And Amik is one of many that are doing that on a daily basis. He's not where he will be ultimately, but he is really improving and growing as a football player.
Talking with him yesterday, Josh, Amik, after the game, he said he was recruited out of high school as an athlete. He didn't have a position.
Yep.
And then in watching him operate in space on that fumble, the scoop and score, has he come to you yet and told you he wants to?
No, but he looks like he could, doesn't he? I mean, there was about 6 times yesterday where I thought he was going to get tackled, and he kept squirting through there. And no, I thought our guys did a decent job of actually. But it looked like a kickoff or punt return once he got the ball. So. No, he hasn't seen me yet today, but he might have the conversation, and I might think about it too. So, no, he's fast. Look, he's fast. We all know he's fast. He's hard. He's hard to bring down because he's tough and he's low to the ground. But no, I thought he did a good job of running with the ball once he got it.
Josh, when you talk about kickers, it's usually when they screw up, but Daniel has 35 consecutive field goals. He leads the NFL. How big of a security blanket is it for you, knowing if I call him, he's money?
Yeah, I mean, like I've said this before. I think our specialists are, when you talk about 2 on the same team, I feel blessed that these 2 are the 2 we have, and include Trent in there too, the 3 of them. The operation is good, and then when you send them out there, you have confidence that the play is going to go your way, and Daniel has really come through in the clutch, obviously, for this team in the past and continues to do so for us now. So I have all the confidence in the world in him. You send him out there, you expect the scoreboard to change, and that's generally what he's done.
You talked about the win being a full week kind of process. That last week went really well. Max said the same thing after the game yesterday, and he said it was noteworthy that it was so positive and constructive. The conversations with you guys, conversations around the building. Was that a conscious effort to make sure things stay positive?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've tried to be as consistent as I can be as a leader, and I think they've done the same thing. Like one of the great lessons that I've been able to take away from my time and my experiences in other places is just, you got to try to be like this as much as you can, whether we win or we lose, and there's lessons to learn from both. And I think that, riding a roller coaster up and down on a long season is not really a good formula. People want consistency. They need it. And I think the vibe in the building was great last week. And if you'd have been inside the walls, I don't think you would have known. You guys got to see the guys in the locker room, and, it's not downtrodden and those kind of things. And we don't want it to be that way. We know that there's ups and downs during the course of a season. And that was just one of the things we tried to emphasize to them last week. Let's just get better. Let's work hard. We've been working hard. There's going to be a few things that we're going to need to improve on and change. I thought their attitude was tremendous, like I said, from Monday on. And the big challenge now for us this week is we won. Do it the same way. Do the same thing, have the same urgency, have the same intentions, have the same attitude, have the same vibe, and be critical on ourselves about the things we can do better after a victory, not just after a defeat. So we'll work hard at that this week, and I think they'll really respond to that.
We got time for 2 more, Levi and then Chris.
Coach, towards the end of the game, on that 3rd and 1, you brought in Zamir White to kind of help seal the game with Josh Jacobs. What was the thought process of putting Zamir in on that play, and do you see his role expanding even more as the season progresses?
Yeah, Zamir's ready to go, the entire game, and obviously play some of the kicking game too. And we've given the in short yardage, those are plays that you get to run them once. You really do, and we've used different schemes throughout the course of the season so far. And one of the things we had done was we had used Josh inside as a fullback. I believe it was the Arizona game. And, he created a first down for himself as a fullback, and so we put him out there, and they noticed he was in there, which they should. It's a good defense. And so we felt like we might have an edge to get the ball to the corner if everybody was going to try to play inside. So I thought Derek did a good job of making a good pitch, and then Zamir obviously outran everybody to the corner. So just using our guys to the best of their ability. Zamir's time, is going to come. But as I said last night, we got a guy that's really running well. And one of the unique things about Josh Jacobs is you never see him do this, and I think that's a tribute to the kid and how much he loves football, how hard he competes on a play-after-play basis. And again, it says nothing negative about Zamir. Zamir's ready to go. So it's just Josh has got to open the door and say, come on in and take a couple reps off me. And he hadn't done that a whole lot. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? So he's got that mentality and that physicality about him that he can handle that. So Zamir will have opportunities definitely going forward.
Josh, I was wondering, a couple of years ago, following a win in Kansas City, John Gruden took his team on a bus tour around Arrowhead Stadium.
Yep.
I'm wondering if you would be up to something similar to an excursion like that when you beat the Chiefs.
I think just get on the plane and come back home. Win, lose or draw, we're going to get on the bus and get to the plane and come on back here. We have a short bye week next week, so we can use all the time back here we get. So we'll prepare as hard as we can, go out there and put our best out there and see what happens on Monday. You got it. Thanks.